Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at two new teasers that were released for Season 10B of The Walking Dead. One of these teasers is related to Alpha and the other one is related to Michonne. Now, the Alpha one is actually connected to, or it's actually basically the exact same key art that they released for Alpha. But this one is more of a teaser or a clip rather than just one key art photo. But we're going to take a look at that. And also there's a Michonne teaser that was released. Both of these are extremely short, maybe like 15 seconds. So there isn't too much there, but I do want to go through them and kind of point out certain things that I noticed or that I found were interesting about them. So with that said, let's jump into the teaser for Alpha. Now, before I play the clip, I do want to say that there's also music on top of the clip, but because I don't want this video to be copyright claimed, I'm not going to include the music. Who knows, maybe if I post it, it'll be copy claimed anyway, so I might need to cut down certain parts of the teaser as well. If that happens, then I might just completely remove it and just give a link to it so you guys can go and check it out, because it's so short that if you cut it even a little bit, there'll be no point in including it. But hopefully it doesn't get claimed and it doesn't get taken down in almost every country. But with that, let's jump right into it. So here is Alpha. So we can see this is connected to the key art that they released for Alpha. So it's Alpha pretty much being paranoid in a way. She's seen holding her head and screaming in other shots, which is pretty cool. So we can see this is a pretty cool shot of Alpha. Obviously, this is the exact same shot that they put in the key art. The only difference is she wasn't holding her head in the key art, but that's a small thing. It's pretty much the exact same, but I absolutely love this teaser for Alpha. Now, I did cover this in my breakdown of the key art, but I'll say it here as well. There's two big things that we notice about this. One, Alpha's angry, extremely angry. She seems frustrated and, she seems paranoid in a way. So it seems like maybe this is a reflection of her state of mind in the second half of season 10. She's going through frustrations because she might lose certain battles or she might lose her power within the Whisperers camp. And who knows, things may happen and she might end up dying. This is not even a spoiler. I mean, every villain that they've introduced has been killed. So it's just a matter of time before Alpha dies, and most likely she'll die at the end of this season. Now, with that said, I did mention the villain thing. Negan is an exception. I think Negan is the only exception that we'll ever see them do that to, in terms of being a villain, but not them killing him off at the end of his arc. It's not really a spoiler to say that Alpha's gonna be killed off. So this could potentially be like a clue about Alpha's state of mind and what could be going on in her head in the second half of season 10, which is absolutely cool. Now, there are also Easter eggs or them paying homage to certain parts of the comics. I'll go through that in a bit. One thing I forgot to mention is we can see a tear coming down from Alpha's eyes. You can clearly see that in the key art, not necessarily in the teaser because the quality is lower. But if you look at the key art, you can definitely see the tear coming down from her eyes. So I think that's another aspect of showing that Alpha is not really in a good state of mind in the second half. And, the tear itself could be connected to Lydia. Like, she could be losing her mind a little bit and she could be vulnerable because of the Lydia situation. We have seen her be vulnerable in the first half, and also in season 9, she was seen crying multiple times. In front of Beta, she even broke down completely. So those are also instances where she was going through this sort of grief or this sort of paranoia, and that feeling is going to be magnified in the second half. Now, we do know Lydia went back to the Whisperers camp, so that's also interesting. But at the same time, I don't think that that's going to really change Alpha's state of mind. I think at the end of the day, that may create more problems because all the Whisperers think that Lydia is dead. And I think that that could potentially be one other aspect that's going to lead to her downfall. But this is a pretty cool teaser. Now, the thing about the Easter egg or them paying homage to the comics I want to mention quick, you can see Alpha's screaming. And that's them directly paying homage to the comic storyline, or the title of the comic storyline, which was Whispers into Screams. So the Whispers turned into Screams. right before the Whisper War got started. And that's exactly where we are right now. And we can see that Alpha's whispers have turned into screams, which is pretty cool and interesting. So I'm going to play the last bit of the teaser here. There isn't too much to it. It's just the same shot over and over. And then the tagline, "We are the Walking Dead," which is them paying homage to what Rick said in the comics, but also in the TV show version when he was talking to the survivors and said, "We are the Walking Dead." So that's pretty cool. And that's pretty much the end of the teaser. And then we have the premiere of the second half, February 23rd. But that's pretty much everything for Alpha's teaser. I absolutely love this. Again, it's pretty much the exact same as the key art, but there is a little bit more to it, just a little bit. Now, before we move on to the Michonne teaser, I do want to kind of quickly show the key art photos that they released, not only the Alpha one, but all of the 4 that they released. And who knows, there might be more coming. I'm hoping there's more coming. We really need one for Negan. I think they're missing that, but hopefully we'll get that. But this one is Michonne and Daryl. Absolutely love it. So we have the same kind of structure where we have a portrait shot of the character and then the tagline, "We are the Walking Dead." So that's pretty cool. Now Michonne looks a little confused. Not sure what that's about. Maybe she's a little concerned, but I was hoping we would get a more interesting key art for her because this is her final one. This is going to be her final half of the season. She's going to be in maybe a handful of episodes. So I was hoping we would get a more interesting key art for her. Now, with that said, maybe on her final episode, we will see an exclusive Michonne key art poster or something like that. They did that for Rick, so we might see a similar thing. But with that said, I am okay with this poster or this key art. It's just that I was expecting a bit more. Now, the one with Daryl is also very interesting. I would love to have seen one with Beta as well, so we could have Beta face to face with Daryl, but that's beside the point. These are the 2 that they released. Then we have these ones of Carol and Alpha. Now, I'm not going to go through the Alpha one. We talked about that in depth already, but the Carol one looks pretty badass. She looks fierce. Absolutely love it. And I think that there's definitely going to be some sort of a showdown between Carol and Alpha. Now, I don't care if Carol doesn't kill Alpha. I actually don't think she will. I'm more 50-50, but I'm leaning more towards Negan being the one that takes care of Alpha. But even with that, I would love to see a proper showdown between Carol and Alpha, which we haven't really seen so far. But that's pretty much all of the key arts that they released. Like I said, hopefully we'll see more. I think that there's a few that they definitely need to have. One for Negan, one for Beta, maybe one for Aaron. The key characters. It's a key art. I mean, you need it for key characters. Anyway, I think those should be coming. Hopefully they're coming. If they're not, I'll be disappointed. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about for these key arts. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the teaser for Michonne. So this one's also pretty quick and it's pretty interesting. So Michonne is looking at something and then we have Virgil coming into the frame and looking at Michonne. And then we have the Walking Dead tagline and them saying it returns on February 23rd. Now what I do want to quickly mention is this specific shot of Michonne. Look at the expression in her eyes. I'll play that real quick. So that's interesting. So it seems like maybe she noticed something or read something or saw something that got her attention. Now there's been rumors and speculation that something might come up in the story that Virgil and Michonne have that might potentially lead Michonne to find out that Rick is alive. And it might actually push her to go after Rick. And that's going to be the cause of her exit. And she's not going to die. And that she'll reunite with Rick in the Rick Grimes movies. Now, we have talked about this rumor before. And we've talked about the different possibilities of what Michonne could potentially find that might lead her to Rick. So I think that this is just another clue or hint about that rumor having some backbone and concrete clues that make that more plausible at this point. Now, another thing that I do want to mention about this teaser real quick is this might actually connect directly to the image that was released, the first look image of season 10B, where we had Michonne with a flashlight looking at something and Virgil in the background. And these two the teaser and this photo could be from the exact same scene. Now, there were discussions about where that could have been, whether it was in a boat, whether, it was just some sort of a building. And I don't think at this point there's any way to, with confidence, say one way or the other. It could be both. There's just no way to tell. But I think in both cases, Michonne looking at something with the flashlight and in the teaser, something getting her attention could be related to her finding something that might connect her to Rick. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go through and talk about. There isn't too much else to talk about here. These two teasers are pretty quick, but they are interesting, and they're slowly giving us more promo teasers that they're hoping would get us hyped for the second half. These two didn't really do it for me that much. They're interesting, but they didn't hype me up as much as obviously the second trailer that they released did. But that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.